Hello, thank you for listening. This is the near death experience of Robbi, and this experience occurred in 1975 and was documented on November 4th, 2017. Open quote. My NDE occurred when I crashed a party of teenagers older than myself. I was age 14 and naive of such parties. I knew about the party because my older sister was going to be there. I wanted to know what older teenagers did at such parties. As soon as I arrived at the party, it was already crowded. In a hallway entrance to a small apartment, I saw the kitchen. On top of the stove, there was a group of big, steaming soup pots and several large black garbage bags lying on the counters. A young man who I did not know asked me if I wanted some Kool-Aid. Literally, I thought I was being offered a glass of Kool-Aid, so I said yes. The young man took one of the pots from the stove, looked down into the pot as he said, "Uh-oh, the drugs." I had no idea what he was talking about, but the crowd around laughed. The dregs are the heavier sediment and the settled to the bottom of the pot. He poured the dregs into a large glass. He then poured red liquid into the glass, stirred it, and handed it to me. I took several large gulps because I was thirsty. It had a bitter taste. I told them it needed more sugar, and they laughed again. Within a minute of drinking the Kool-Aid, I started to feel weird and dizzy. I went to a nearby couch to sit down. Almost immediately, I began to hallucinate. I had no idea what was happening to me since I had never done drugs before. I had no idea at the time that I had been drugged. I became immediately frightened when the shag carpet turned into squirming worms and the walls moved in and out with the music in a claustrophobic way. The other people at the party knew something was wrong with me but made no effort to help me. I knew I had to get away from these awful people. I was so scared that I ran out of the apartment and into the street. All I knew was that I had to make it home. Trying to make my way home on foot, I had to cross several busy streets. I don't know how I made it across those streets without being hit by a car, but somehow I found my way home. I entered the house through the back door and tried to be as quiet because I wasn't supposed to be out or at the party. I climbed the steps to my bedroom, then fell onto my bed. The hallucinations became much worse. I began to hallucinate that my fingers were melting and that my bones were shrinking. It was extremely bone-aching, painful. I knew I was dying. The hard part was giving up my body. I held on a long time since I was afraid to give up. I knew that if I could lose my body, the pain would go away. The pain was so unbearable. I gave it up and let go. As soon as I let go, I floated upward and out of my body. The pain went away. It was dark all around, but I could see my body lying dead on the bed. As I floated upwards, I could see members of my family in various other parts of our houses doing certain things. I was relieved to see them. As I floated higher and higher, I could see the house and neighborhood from a bird's eye view. The sides of my awareness was pitch black, all caps, cold darkness. As I rose higher, I saw or felt dark, misty entities floating in that darkness with me. Some entities were in human, wispy shapes, but many were animal shapes like dogs and cats. Some were flying by swiftly and some were just floating. They were stuck in the darkness. It became so dark I could no longer see my neighborhood or house. This scared me. It felt like I was rising into another layer of darkness, but I was extremely conscious in my mind. I was afraid of this darkness and wanted to find a way out. It seemed like a forever darkness. Finally, I saw a tiny pinprick of bright light in the darkness. I knew I had to go toward that tiny light. As I floated toward the light, I saw recognizable events in my life from the past. As I got closer to this tiny light, I saw things that I felt were future events, but was confused because I did not recognize the events. As I moved closer and closer to the light, it became a tunnel. At first, it was dark. Then it got lighter, and then was light. I felt heat. At one point, the light heat became so intense, I was afraid. I thought, it's a good thing that I no longer have a body, because a body could not withstand the intensity of this light and heat. At that point, I became overjoyed because I realized my mind was alert and conscious of everything. This thought of knowing everything pervaded as I moved through the tunnel of light. I became closer and closer upon the grand, all-encompassing light of God. I felt pure love as God embraced me in light. I also felt scared of the knowledge and power that I felt surrounding me. Then I heard a voice tell me, "It's not your time. You are to be sent back." And then I was suddenly let go. I came into my body again in a flash of shock. I was wide awake and breathless in astonishment of what I had experienced. I immediately felt sadness because I already missed the feeling of being embraced by God's pure love. I was also dumbfounded in how to act in my body again. It felt like I had to get used to it all over again. I remember thinking about how shocking it is to be born as a baby body. At least it could grow into a body over time, but to be shot down into a body suddenly in an overwhelming shock, even though I knew it was my body, it felt new and foreign to me. Not to mention the effects of being unknowingly overdosed by accident by a group of stupid teenagers who knew I was naive but tricked me anyway. They gave me no help. From that day forward, I avoided anyone in that group. It took me over 6 months to begin to get used to my body again. It took years to finally read about and understand that there were others like me who experienced an NDE. When I first came across an account of NDE stories, I was not surprised to learn that many have had similar experiences. End quote. Oh, going to a party with older teenagers and not good in 1975. Maybe probably not good at any time. But what an experience, Robbi. And there are some questions. Question, rating your highest level of consciousness. Answer, more conscious and alert than normal. Knowing everything pervaded my experience. Question, did time seem to speed up or slow down? Answer, time seemed to go faster or slower. Slower because it seemed that my experience lasted forever. It felt like a long time passed. Then when I came back into my body, everything felt super fast. Question, did you pass into or through a tunnel? Answer, yes. It's interesting because I still see that tiny pinprick of light, especially during meditation. It makes me happy to know that it's always with me for eternity. I know what the light is. It is the pure love and light of God. Question, did you suddenly seem to understand everything? Answer, this is one of the things that is most difficult to put into words. I felt like God gives us all the knowledge of everything in the universe. This is also the experience of pure love, light, and joy. I still feel this. Sometimes I have predicted events in scientific discovery before they have happened. Question, what importance did you place on your religious/spiritual life prior to your experience? Answer, unknown. Question, what was your religion prior to your experience? Answer, unaffiliated, nothing in particular. On both sides, my parents' did not impose any religious beliefs upon them or practice of faith. My mother's side of the family is of Russian-Hungarian Jewish origins, and my father's side was German Lutheran. My parents did not impose any religious beliefs upon me. In fact, at the age of 6, on the first day of first grade, my parents sat me down to try to explain what religion was. They told me they did believe in God, but they did not practice a religious faith, and that choosing a belief faith was totally up to me. They encouraged that if I wished, I could explore religion on my own through friends I was about to meet in the first grade, explaining to me that many I would meet in school would probably have the religious faith of their parents or go to church on Sunday with their parents. My knowledge about religious beliefs at the time of my NDE incident encompassed a basic general understanding of different faiths and beliefs in my community and around the world. I had no frame of reference for my NDE until many years after the experience. Question: have your religious practices changed since your experience? Answer: yes. See above answers about knowing God. Question: what importance do you place on your religious/spiritual life after your experience? Answer: greatly important to me. Question: what is your religion now? Answer: unaffiliated, nothing in particular, secular. After my NDE, during which I experienced God wholly, I have had faith and belief in the God I experienced equals pure love and light. Those are all caps. Question: did your experience include features consistent with your earthly belief? Answer: content was both consistent and inconsistent because I had no religious bias. Before my NDE, I felt like my experience of God is pure and true. Question: did you have a change in your values and beliefs because of your experience? Answer: yes. Because my experience, I know God. My experience opened my mind and intellect. Question: during your experience, did you gain information about pre-mortal existence? Answer: yes. During my NDE, I became aware that mind, consciousness, and love are eternal. Therefore, if I am mind consciousness, now I have been in the past and will be in the future. During my NDE, I felt God's pure love, past, present, and future. Question: during your experience, did you gain information about universal connection or oneness? Answer: yes. I felt God's embrace of pure love and light. I felt one with all in the universe. Question: did you gain information about how to live our lives? Answer: yes. My experience allowed me to understand the fallacies of religious dogmas and the damage those fallacies have done to human earthly existence throughout history. Question: during your experience, did you gain information about life's difficulties, challenges, and hardships? Answer: yes. Life in a body is hard. We are lucky if we are blessed with a good body/mind. Life, consciousness outside of our bodies can be pure bliss if love is our prevailing thought and action. Question: during your experience, did you gain information about love? Answer: yes. I experienced the pure love and the joy of God. Because of this experience, I know how to recognize pure love. Question: have your relationships changed specifically because of your experience? Answer: yes. Spiritual aspects of a person's character/mindset and the actions became more important to me after my NDE. Question: was the experience difficult to express in words? Answer: yes. For many years, I could not even begin to describe my experience. In fact, I told no one for many years after my NDE. My account here does not do justice to the actual experience. Question: how accurately do you remember the experience in comparison to other life events that happened around the same time? Answer: I remember it more accurately. My NDE is always ever present in my consciousness and always will be. Question: do you have any psychic, non-ordinary, or other special gifts after your experience that you did not have before the experience? Answer: yes. I have always been psychic and experienced ESP and other paranormal events, but my psychic/paranormal abilities increased greatly after my NDE. Ever since my NDE, I have experienced many premonitions that came true. I have also experienced many extrasensory perceptions. I have seen ghosts and other paranormal entities. Question: Had any time in your life, has anything ever reproduced any part of the experience? Answer: yes, pure love. End quote. End questions. That's sounds like a wonderful experience, Robbi, and I appreciate you sharing it with us, and thank you for listening out there. Have a great day.